Family and friends, we're just about ready to start the family prayer. If there's any who wanted to be in with us, we invite you to come into the next room at this time.
Just want to welcome everyone today to what Andrea would like to be called a celebration of life, I would imagine. We'll see how celebratory all of us are as we try to speak today and try to remember somebody that we all loved. Again, just want to express our gratitude and our love for all of you that have that are here in person. And, I know that there's many through many places that are watching and listening in. And we just want you to know that we love you and we are grateful for everything that all the condolences and all the things that we have received in the last couple weeks. My name is Patrick Gleaves. I'm the oldest brother, Andrea's older brother, and the oldest of the kids. I'll kind of be conducting, and we'll have a few different people just kind of expressing their thoughts and memories today of Andrea. And like I said, trying to keep it as best or as close to celebrating as we can. But I would imagine there's going to be some emotions as we go through today. First off, we'll hear kind of a life sketch and just kind of talk a little bit about Andrea from her oldest niece on our side, Jalen Gleaves. And then the oldest sister, Natalie Gleaves, will have a few minutes to speak. And then our youngest sister, Courtney Gleaves Sessions, will have a few minutes to speak. And then we'll kind of go to that point and continue on. So thank you.
Our loving sister, aunt, and friend, Andrea Gleaves, age 37, passed away Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023, in Irvine, California, surrounded by family, following a short and courageous battle with advanced stage cervical cancer. She was a guiding light for her family and leaves a legacy of love and service for all those who knew her. Andrea was born on September 1st, 1985, in Tacoma, Washington. She is the fifth of 7 children to Kurt Arliss Gleaves and Cindy Gleaves. After her parents' divorce, Andrea moved to Spanish Fork, Utah with her mother and siblings, where she grew up playing softball and soccer. She graduated from Spanish Fork High School in 2004 as the Social Sciences Sterling Scholar and president of the debate team. Andrea felt the call early to serve others and had a great passion to fight for change beginning in high school. After graduation, she attended the University of Southern California, where she earned a bachelor's degree in history in 2008 with a minor in political science. Andrea valued and exemplified the work ethic and resiliency she learned from her mother. She was a fierce advocate and dedicated coworker who fought for social justice and true equality, and equity of all marginalized people. This fight began at USC, then took her to Missouri to work for President Obama's first campaign, then to Washington, D.C., and finally to California. Andrea navigated her professional life with grace, determination, humor, and creativity. She was a women's rights advocate with expertise in domestic violence, sexual assault, and reproductive rights. Andrea provided extensive training, outreach, and technical assistance to government agencies, community-based organizations, and local victim service providers. Rooted in a career that began answering calls at a domestic violence hotline, she was a seasoned coalition builder and organizer in the field. Connecting all 8 of the District of Columbia's universities and colleges together, she helped create the University Leadership Initiative to address dating violence, stalking, and sexual assault on college campuses. Andrea also designed and implemented the Domestic Violence Advocate Core Competency Training, piloted NNEDV's Positively Safe, the intersection of domestic violence and HIV curriculum as a member of the National Advisory Committee, and served on the steering committees for Futures Without Violence's National Conference on Health and Domestic Violence. Andrea was promoted to the role of Strategic Partnerships Manager with the DC Coalition Against Domestic Violence and ran the coalition's communication efforts, including the annual Spread Love DC campaign for Domestic Violence Awareness Month and the coalition's social media channels. Andrea also served on the board of DC Abortion Fund and was a past chair for the Women's Information Network, where she awarded the Cherished Leader Award in 2014. During the pandemic in 2020, Andrea made the cross-country move from DC to Pasadena, California to be closer to family. For the last 3 years, she served as the communications manager at Children's Law Center of California. In her role, she advocated for children who have been abused, neglected, and abandoned that come under the protection of the Los Angeles, Sacramento, or Placer County juvenile dependency court systems. Throughout her career, she had an uncanny ability to connect with others to the mission and policy goals of the organizations she was working with in only a way that Andrea could. Her spirit and legacy will continue to inspire her family, friends, and coworkers to honor her memory by continuing her fight for a world free from violence and discrimination. Andrea loved traveling, beach trips, reading, visiting museums, playing board games, assembling puzzles, and attending MLB baseball games. She was her nieces and nephews' biggest fan, prioritizing their many dance recitals, sporting events, and any other activity they participated in. She was immensely creative with a keen eye for design, and food was a love language for her. She enjoyed trying new foods and places to eat, baking cookies, cakes, and pastries for family parties, friends, and coworkers. She was the first to provide a quality food or drink recommendation, and many followed at Andy Eats LA as she ate and sipped her way through SoCal. This also included frequent visits to Disneyland and sampling the newest treats offered throughout the park. Andrea was a lover of all things Disney. A lot of birthdays and family time were spent at Disneyland, and when Galaxy's Edge opened, it was a favorite spot. She designated the family motto, "The Force is strong in our family," and she shared a love of all things Star Wars with her siblings, nieces, and nephews. The world has truly lost a bright shining star in Andrea, and we hope that she now shines from above somewhere near Carrie Fisher. I just wanted to say a few more words of my own. Andrea was a light in everybody's lives. And the only person who called me J Bear, my Virgo best friend, she is a big example of unconditional love in my life. And I have peace knowing that she left behind some badass nieces and nephews who love Disneyland and Star Wars just as much as she did and are ready to follow and do whatever adventurous, courageous thing that we saw Andrea do. So.
What can I say about my amazing sister? As kids, she was my buddy, and at times we could drive each other crazy. When we were kids, Andrea and I made a joke that how Brittany was her favorite and how Courtney was my favorite. As it turns out, Andrea was everybody's favorite. She was brave and always stood up for what she believed. After watching her go off to college gave me the courage to go for my dreams. See, I am the older sister, but Andrea is who I looked up to. She showed me to explore the world and to live life. She loved to travel and try new things. She was my editor all through college, no matter where she was, even if she was on a business trip or if she was sleeping because the time difference was so different from here in DC. She would open her email and she would help me edit my papers. She made me sound 10 times better than my words were. She always told me, you just have to add that fluff, Nat. About 10 years ago, she called me and she said, I have a big question for you. I said, okay. And she goes, are you sure that October 22nd is your birthday? And I go, of course, it's my birthday. And she goes, because I could swear it's November 22nd. And so ever since then, she has always teased me. In her cards, she would sign, joke, November 22nd is your real birthday. She is not someone that you would want to debate with. She would go round and round and round with you until she got you on her side. Andrea's passion for her work was unbelievable and grew over the years. She craved standing up for others and making the world a better place for everyone, no matter what. Someone she admired said, fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. RBG. Andrea for sure did that. And she is leaving behind a legacy of caring for others and advocating for equal rights for all. Andrea, you are loved and will be missed every second of the day. On the aunt note, I will try my best to carry on in your footsteps and to become the new favorite aunt. Although I'm not sure that will work because your shoes are really big to follow.
All right, let's see if I can get some words out. I don't speak very often, but I feel like I need to for her. I am Courtney Sessions. I am the youngest of the family, also known as the baby, according to Andrea, is what she would always call me. As little sisters, we grew up running around outside, going on many wild adventures as Andrea would take me and Brittany on, and always involved baking something. What she did when she was little was she made a little, it's called dirt spaghetti, that she put in a little bowl with some dirt and some rocks and convinced me that it was spaghetti. So I ate it. And ever since I've had children of my own, she's trying to convince Louis to do the same thing to Scarlett. And I think one day he will. But that was her job of just coming up with a fun way to entertain, make someone laugh, make me funny, but that was her way. I feel very lucky to call her my sister. I also feel very lucky that I got the chance to live close to her quite a few times. Started out with she helped me apply to college, and I got accepted to Arizona, so I moved out there freshman year. She was in California, so we were just really close to each other, and me and my friends decided we wanted to go to California for spring break because that's what everyone did. So we went out there, and I was like, hey, I have a sister we can stay with. And of course, she opened up her doors, had an itinerary where we could do all weekend long, had food places we could go eat, and just full adventure. Anywhere you went, she had a list of things we could do. and then that brought to my summers in DC. I did 2 internships in DC in my undergrad. First summer, I got to live with her. And as I see some people in the back. Anyways, my first summer, I went to DC. I was majoring in dance, and I was like, what else can I do with this? I need to figure out what I can do. And she brought my attention to nonprofit and the art administration world that I could do. So I looked for DC, found an internship, and of course, she was there. Every weekend was filled with walking through museums, finding new food places, going to going to all of her work events. I remember sitting in on committee meetings with her at WIN. I was sitting in the back as they huddled and talked about their programs that they were working on that summer. And that's where I got to see firsthand of all the amazing work that she started to do and that she was doing with her life. And I was like, wow, I need to do more. But that was just a glimpse. Then once I got married, I moved to New York City for a short time, and she was in DC. And either one of us was back and forth that month, going on more adventures. She showed my firstborn Louis around the city, taking him to all of her favorite spots. But that's who she was, not only with her family, but with her friends and her coworkers, always giving them advice. I am sure I've heard lots of people say she was the first one I went to get if I needed an answer or I needed someone to talk to. She was there. She was the one that would sit down with me and go over solutions, pros and cons of why you should do this. I was in a position where I wanted to ask for a pay grade, and she sat there with me and gave me the confidence to ask for that. She was the person that you went to. And so it just sucks that we're here, to be honest. She was loyal. She was strong. She was resilient. She tackled everything that came her way with strength and grace. She fought for everything and for everyone. She loved my kids. She spent a lot of time with them. These past 3 years, like Jalen said, she moved back to California. We went on many Disneyland adventures. She baked goods for all my children all the time. We did a lemonade stand last summer that my kids can't wait to do this year. So I guess I will have to learn how to bake, which is not a good skill of mine. But it's what she would have done, so I'm going to learn. Losing a sibling was not on my radar. This was not something that I thought I would have to go through at this time in my life. I was lucky enough to have her in my home the past 6 months, taking care of her, as it was very hard. I feel very lucky to be so close with her, to have her in my home. My home will feel a little less without her there. I miss talking with her. Every Disneyland adventure, Christmas Eve bowling, summer barbecue, my kids' birthdays, will forever having a gaping hole that cannot be filled. But I do hope that I can instill her legacy and her resilience in my children. As she was a force for good and helped people, so many people, have a voice. And if they didn't have a voice, she was their voice. She wanted the best for everyone. I just want to end with a quote by one of her favorites, Carrie Fisher. "Stay afraid, but do it anyways. What's What's important is the action. You don't have to wait to be confident. You just do it, and eventually the confidence will come and will follow. That was her. She did it anyways. She did it because it was right. And I hope that I can do that too. Thank you.
At this time, we're going to have her nieces and nephews come and sing a song. So let's have the Jalen and Hallie and Tatum and Asher and Lucas and Scarlett, Tommy, and Remington. Remy says no.
I can't sit on the chair. I want to sit on the chair. It's a great choice. Say you want to sunshine. I need to. Say you want to sunshine. You want sunshine. Hello? Hello. Hello. He's sticking your tongue out. No, I go to the list to bake it. Sunshine, you made me happy when skies are gray. How much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. I love you, Gigi.
I just want to say, like, Andrea was a super, I can't talk. Andrea was a super lighthearted and fun person. And I just want to be able to keep her alive in my life and just be able to be like her and just try new things and not hold back. I love you, JJ. There's a lot I could say about her, but we'll be here forever, so I'm gonna keep it short. She was my hype girl. She was somebody I could go to talk to about anything. I graduated last year in 2022, and after I graduated, I pretty much just left with her straight to California. So I have a lot of memories with her this last year, and it was hard seeing her go, but I am trying to find comfort in knowing that she's with my grandma. So she lived a good life, but Star Wars and cookies are always going to remind me of her. So yeah.
Those of you that really know Andrea would have known that she loved that for multiple reasons. For them singing and for everything that occurred up here. If you know, you know. At this time, we're going to hear from the last couple speakers. Brittany Gleaves will come and give us a few words, and then my wife Leslie and I will kind of finish out, and then we'll conclude. Thank you.
So I know you won't believe us, but they actually practiced for like 3 hours last night. I'm just kidding. They really did it. But yeah, I guess. Do you want to say something or no? Now she wants to say something. You want to say something? You want to stand up for me? Okay. She just wants to stand with me. Okay. Aloha. For those of you, obviously, Patrick just said, my name is Brittany. And Andrea liked to call me Itty Bitty Britty or Britty Boo. And I hated those names when she called me that. But I felt like they were implying that I was a baby or a brat, which most of the time I was a brat. But Andrea gave me those nicknames because I was her favorite. And maybe sometimes I lived up to being a brat because there's 4 girls in the house, but Andrea still loved me for it. I believe that she loved me for the person that I am. And so I'm truly grateful to be considered her favorite sister. You guys could just look at Remy while I talk instead. I've been trying to process what I want to say, and you think that all these memories are going to come to you, and they don't. They do and they don't at the same time. It still doesn't feel real that she's gone. I've always had 4 sisters, and I know I still have 4 sisters, but no matter what was going on in our lives, how crazy our lives are, or how rude one of us was being, she was always there for us, especially Andrea. We were always there for each other, especially Andrea. She will always be my sister, but it's going to be hard not having her here with us, not being able to pick up the phone and ask a random question, advice on how to bake something, or ask her to write a paper for us. She did that a lot, or to proofread it or to make it better, because that's just who she was. She had a way with words. She truly was an amazing person, and she's going to be missed every single day. Andrea, Courtney, and myself are the 3 youngest kids. We went by the ABCs: Andrea, Brittany, Courtney. As Courtney already explained, we went on lots of adventures together, playing outside. We played outside. We made plays and dances. Yes, Andrea danced for a brief moment of her life when maybe she was 8. We danced outside in the backyard with ribbons. We made a play. It was a whole show. If you don't remember, you missed out. But we were always together, like Courtney talked about. Courtney actually did eat that. I didn't. No, Courtney did eat the spaghetti. I did not, just FYI. Courtney and I wanted to be just like her. We followed her example in a lot of ways. Just a short, brief memory. We had a paper out together. I think Andrea had it first. I can't remember, but Courtney and I wanted to do it too, because of course. But sometimes we actually just threw the papers away. So if you lived down by 2nd North, and you might not have got a paper, but we saw some weeks the papers would come every single week without fail. And we're like, why are we doing this? We were scared of dogs. We didn't want to walk up to the porches, but we still did it. And some weeks we threw them away. We lived right by the high school, so we just walked across the street and threw them in the dumpster a few weeks. That's probably why we still don't have the paper out. But just things like that. We always wanted to be doing what she was doing. I remember summers being filled with trips to the pool, learning how to swim, trying to be daring and jumping off the diving board. Andrea taught all of us that. Well, at least me and Courtney. We always had a summer job. We score kept at the ballpark. We were there every single day, all night long. Sometimes at East Park, if anyone knows what that's at, by the junior high. North Park, it's not there anymore, but we always did things together. We cherished those summers. Andrea was a leading example to all of us, and I will always remember that. Also, she got her Sterling Scholar because of me. I know she won't say that, but I can say it because I was in one of the history teachers class that stood up for her, because it was me. But later in life, when Jake, my husband, got stationed in New Orleans, I was excited to be closer to DC. I was excited to be on the same side of the country as Andrea. I didn't know much about living in the South, but Andrea was able to come visit us a few times down there, and we had Thanksgivings together. I was also able to visit DC for the first time, and she introduced me to lots of different cupcake shops all across the city. And also she took me to my first Nats game, and that began my love for Bryce Harper. And that will be something that I'll always remind me of her, is baseball and going to games. When, like I said, we were the youngest of our family, and that meant that we had to learn how to speak up for ourselves at a very young age and learn to have an opinion so that our voice could be heard. And that was something that I will always remember about Andrea, that she taught me how to stand up for myself. She taught me how to lead with my gut and to trust my instincts and to fight for what you want. She taught me to be an advocate for myself. She taught me to not only view the world in black and white, that it's okay to be different, and it's okay to be accepting and kind to people that are different. Not that I needed help with this, but she taught me that my voice mattered. And that educating myself and having informed opinions was important. Similar to our mother, Andrea was strong, brave, and stubborn. I think all of us are stubborn, but as you can see, that didn't fall too far with my daughter not wanting to come up here and sing with the rest of this nieces and nephews. Some people might think that that is a negative thing, but I view it as a positive thing of knowing what you want and being okay with being different. Those are qualities that I have learned from her and that I also see in my own daughter. Andrea and Remy had a special bond. I love that Andrea encouraged her to be sassy and to be independent. And I hope to continue to teach Remy, as Andrea taught her, to be strong and brave. Andrea was my biggest cheerleader. She cared about my life and about my accomplishments. She was always there with a call, a text, an Instagram post of good luck or congratulations, for all life events, for everybody in our family. That was going to be greatly missed. I will miss going to Disneyland with her, talking about a good book or maybe a crappy one. I will miss asking her questions about a certain policy or law that might be going into effect. They mentioned that she could debate anybody and she would always win the argument, but I felt like I could go to her and she would actually explain to me what was going on, and I could make that informed decision for myself because I understood better, and she didn't judge that I was asking the questions. I'm surely going to miss the advice on planning a party or baking. I will miss her calling me out on my bitchiness, and then 30 minutes later, still loving me anyway. I will miss her posting the chubby baby Remy videos and photos every single year for her birthday. And she was brave till the end, and I'm so proud to call her my sister. I'm really sorry that her life was ended too soon based off a shitty disease. I love you, and I can't wait to see you again. Keep fighting for all of us up there because we need it. And I just want to remind us and my daughter to continue to be brave and strong like she was. Thanks. She might come. Remy, do you want to come say something? Okay.
I'm Leslie. I am Andrea's sister by marriage. I'm married to Patrick, the oldest of the seven. And she was my sister, just like all of these guys are my sisters and brothers. I've been in the family since Andrea was 9, I think. I just watched her grow up and become the amazing person that she is. Like you've heard from the rest of the siblings, she was the 5th of 7, but we all looked up to her, even me. She was just so intelligent, so independent, just knew exactly what she wanted in life, lived it to the fullest, supported everyone, lifted everyone up, was everyone's biggest cheerleader. I work at the museum, the art museum in the next city, and anytime she was in town, she'd love to come and visit, and she'd come and see what I had been working on, what was on display. Whenever the kids had anything, she was across the country, and she never felt like she was too far away. She always made it a priority to the family was just a high priority for her. She was always close, a phone call away, a text away, a funny meme away from being right here with us. And my kids had the pleasure of growing up with her as an example, and I'll be forever grateful for her, for who she was in my children's life. Watching them grow up with all of these siblings, they're just so resilient and have so much of their mother in them, and I just love them all so much. I'm so grateful for the relationship that I was able to witness between Patrick and Andrea. I think of all the siblings, these two are the most similar in temperament, in common interests. They both have history and political science degrees. Patrick went the teaching route, she went the advocacy route, and I think they were in constant communication with each other about different things. They challenged each other, they uplifted each other. It was something really, really special for me to witness, and I was really grateful to be involved in a lot of conversations with them and learn from both of them. Just like the rest of the sisters, I feel like I can actually say that she probably knew me better than anyone else besides Patrick. She was just genuine in her desire to help and support everyone. And that's just, I think, the main thing that I wanted to share and thank her for today is who she was. And she's raised a little army of Leias over here with her nieces and nephews. And I think it's, it might be funny that there's such a big Star Wars connection here, but she grew up in this time and in this family that loved this movie, that where Leia is this probably the first cinematic feminist, and growing up with the ideals that Leia embodies of these dichotomies of being a princess, being a rebel, being a general, you can be anything, you can be strong, and I think she really just embodied that in what she did in her work and in what she taught as an example through her life to us as siblings and to her nieces and nephews. And I really love her for that. This has just been such a sad, hard year, and I'm really grateful that my older girls were able to go out and help as much as they could, the last few months with her and spend that time with her. We've all just been in a fog in the last few weeks, and I'm just so appreciative of all of the comments and the condolences and things that people have sent in. I know that's been really uplifting in our households, and Andrea was amazing. I hope that we all can continue her legacy of loving others and truly loving unconditionally. And I know that I'll try to do my best to keep her memory alive. And I think that she's done that with her nieces and nephews too. They know who she is. They talk about her all the time, and that won't ever stop. And I love you so much, Andrea. I'm so thankful for you in my life, and we'll see each other again.
appreciate everyone that has shared so far today. I'm going to try to close this out with a few words. I'm going to try to keep it coherent. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. So I apologize in advance for that. I pride myself on being prepared and being able to express a coherent thought in a given situation. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that today. And again, I apologize. I tried to sit down and write down some things this week multiple times, and it just didn't work. So we're going to see what happens here for a few minutes. And get real, it cannot, and we'll see what happens. First and foremost, obviously there's, the memories of Andrea and the positivity and are immense. Personal memories that I have of her are amazing. We used to talk all the time. And then, as technology changed, text all the time. And, I don't know who's going to stay up with me until 3 a.m. on election night anymore. And that's a difficult thing. I don't know who's going to debate with me anymore. Because I will defeat all of the siblings easily. Andrew's the only one. Andrew's the only one that could go with me for a little while until we both just stopped. And those are things that I'll cherish and I'll remember forever. We like the same movies. We like the same books. We like the same TV shows. We had very similar interests, as Leslie said, and it's going to be a difficult time. But probably the most important thing that I'll remember is just the love that she had for really everybody, but especially our kids, my own kids, my nieces and nephews. I'm older, a little bit older. I'm grateful that my 4 kids had an opportunity to grow up a little bit with her. Scarlett and Remy, Lucas and Tommy. She was an integral part of their life, their young life, and I know that she's going to watch over them and continue to watch over them. But I really would have liked to know if Tommy really was her nemesis. She always said he was, but more time would have been really nice to settle that. So grateful for everything that Andrea did on a daily basis for everybody, whether it was helping Hallie, win a women's bracket challenge in school, whether it was supporting Lua or Asher, whether it was just being a true mentor to Jalen, whether it was just accepting Leslie as her true sister and not like a sister-in-law. All those things I'm going to miss tremendously. I'm going to miss the dark humor. I'm going to miss the difficult times. Everyone's always so nice and everyone wants to express their condolences. And let's be real, there's nothing good to say at a time like this. Asking how you are, it's not a real easy question to answer. At the end of the day, none of us are doing good. At the end of the day, I'm really mad and I'm really angry and I'm frustrated. And those are all valid emotions. And trying to overcome that is hard and difficult. One of the things that to try to help and to try to manage the anger and the frustration at this time is just trying to remember her legacy and how we as family and friends can continue on and support each other and be there for each other, and to attempt to impact the world the way that she did. Both of us were huge West Wing fans. And as I was trying to think about what to write and what to say this week, I watched an episode where can provide a little context for all of you that, don't like the show as much as me, and a couple of us here do. There's an episode towards the end of season 2. It's called The Two Cathedrals, where President Bartlett's secretary had just been killed by a drunk driver. And they're going through and they're getting ready for a funeral. It's going to be in the National Cathedral, and he's reminiscing and having some flashbacks about how he met his secretary, Dolores Landingham, and he goes through and he's angry, kind of like I am right now. He's angry. At the same time, he's trying to decide whether or not he's going to run for president, even though he's just told everyone he has MS, right? If you know the show. And so he's mad and he's frustrated and he's walking through the cathedral by himself. And ultimately, he puts out a cigarette on the floor as a sign of, his frustration, and, says, you get the next guy. Like, I'm done. If you're going to let this person pass, I'm frustrated and I'm done. And he goes into the last scene of that particular episode, and her ghost kind of visits him and is talking to him and goes through a series of things, and ultimately, she's like, if you don't want to run, or if you're scared, or if, first off, she says, if you don't really want to run again, I respect that. But if you do it because you're mad or you're scared or you're frustrated or you think you're going to lose, then I don't even want to know you. And that's what Andrea would have wanted. She knows that we're frustrated. She knows that we're mad. She knows that we're sad. But those can't be excuses. And those can't be reasons, not to continue to support and continue to put forth an effort to do what she did and to make this world a better place. We are a Star Wars family. We always loved it. I'm immensely grateful that one of my last memories will be a trip to Disneyland this past December with my family. She was there, of course. It was our first trip to Galaxy's Edge. We made lightsabers together. But in The Last Jedi, Luke tells Leia that no one's ever really gone. Andrew's not gone. She can live through all of us, all the people that loved her. We can be her legacy. It can continue. Can continue her legacy. Whatever it is that you do, try to be as good a human as she was. And I know that she'll be there every step of the way. I truly love her and my entire family. And I hope that we can remember that. Thank you. We have a few minutes, and we know that Andrea, casted a wide net, and we just wanted to provide a few minutes here before we close. If anybody wants to come and share a memory, a quick memory or a thought about Andrea, we'll just kind of open it up for 5 minutes or so. Just if anybody feels like they want to share a thought, a memory, feel free to just come up and share. And like I said, she really would have wanted this to be a celebration. I don't know if that's truly what it was, but it was as close as we could get. So feel free to come up for about 10 minutes or so if anybody wants to give a memory or thought, and then we'll close.
Ready?
She made popsicles. I can do it by myself.
What did you say? You want to say?
Did I love you?
What?
I love you.
Oh, I love you.
How did I
No, we're all done.
Can't you make it afford it? Thank you for making us those cupcakes.
Hi, everyone. Hello. My name is Stephanie Talavera. I'm here with Sue Abrams. She's in the back. We're representing Children's Law Center of California. We're in Monterey Park. We've had the privilege and the honor of working with Andy for the last 3 years. And I have been trying to reconcile my feelings of grief, as we all have, because you go through, they're your coworker, or they're your friend, or they're your family. And as we go through this process, we realize we've spent more time with our coworkers during the day than we do with our family. And to me, my connection to Andy is so much deeper for a couple of reasons. In the middle of the pandemic, I was 9 months pregnant, and my third child, I was already coming up on 40. And when somebody gives you a third or a fourth child, you're like, it's like you're trying, and then they're like, here, hold this. And I was like, what will I do? And like an angel, I don't know other way to put it, comes Andy. We had other applicants, and like the moment that Sue and I met Andy, we're like, a click. That's the person. She's the person that we need. And she was kind of like, when we learned of her passing and we learned of her illness, people were just coming out in droves. Her position was very unique in that she did communications and she touched everyone in the organization. And something massive that she did for CLC and children who have been abused and neglected all throughout Los Angeles County, Placer County, and Sacramento County, or that she's changed the way people see our work and that they see the children that we represent. So when you think lawyer, you think like, well, people have feelings about that. She completely changed the way that people see us. They see that we're good. They see that we are, it's all about the kids. And she left us this. So I am not very organized, and she was my twin flame in the sense that she was like picking up everything that I couldn't. I just knew that Andy would get it. I knew that Andy would have it ready, concise. And we just had an event last week, and one was, as Patrick shared, I was really upset. She should have been here, but the event only went off without a hitch because of everything that she left behind for us. She made the first communication style guide we've ever had. She had everything organized. And so when I say that her legacy lives on, I truly mean she's changed the way we do our work. And that will never go away. And she has changed the lives or touched the lives of countless children in the foster care system. And I just want to say from a personal note how much she adored her family. I heard Tommy and Jalen and like these names all day long. And when I had a really bad day, I would look over at her family board and be like, okay, all these faces smiling back at me. We will make it through the day. It's going to be okay. So her family was number one. And please know how much Children's Law Center loves her and misses her, and we will never forget her. And if there's anything that we can ever do for you, we will come. We will be here. We will do whatever you need.
Hey y'all. So I'm Latoya. This is Leanne and Tina. And our good friend Andrea. We were and except for LaPria, she's not here. She couldn't be with us today. We were the cool kids. We are so grateful to have known Andrea. I heard a lot of people talking about her encouraging folks to like use their voices. Whew. Andrea was such a big voice in DC. Um, and her voice, even though she didn't need to be front and center, she didn't need to be seen, but the impact that she had was so great. Folks, let me just tell you, back in DC, folks are really grieving, and I'm talking about like all stages of government, of nonprofit world, grassroots, because Andrea work was so ingrained in so much of what is now known as Spread Love DC. I saw some of the T-shirts and some of you guys' pictures, like, and I'm like, dang, like that's amazing that the very thing that Andrea kind of almost birthed, and I would say that. I don't know who else wants to take credit, but we're gonna give her credit. Spread Love DC was her baby. That was her thing. The shirts, the campaign has spread so large and far, and we're so proud of her. I think about the times where we were like all at work, and this was at the DC Coalition Against Domestic Violence, and Andrea was a big advocate for boundaries, consent, but also self-care. She had a self-care drawer, which contained alcohol, all liquor. And so on those hard days, those tough days, those challenging days, we knew where to go. And it was always such it was always such a pleasure. She was definitely like a badass. And in that way, even though we are very different, in many ways we were very much alike, in a way that we support women, support the underdog, support survivors. The way that her mind just worked in terms of like just putting things together and like organizing things was just like amazing. I don't want to go on and on, but I do remember like during COVID, we kind of made this like pact. First of all, Andrea was like the first of our group to kind of leave the organization. So we all was like, oh, Andrea did it. And so she left and I left and she left, you know. And so we have been united ever since. And during COVID, we would have like frequent FaceTimes. We celebrated all our birthdays together. We got May the 4th be with you packs in the mail ahead of time. So, I mean, we love her and miss her immensely. And we'll be forever grateful for the video she shared of like her nieces and nephew. It's crazy because everybody has asked, you know, as we're telling folks about like Andrea's transition, did she have kids? And I always am like no, but because I have to like say that, like I can't say enough how much she loved her nieces and nephews. Oh my God, it's I don't even know how you guys are claiming that those are your kids because
They were her kids.
they were her babies, like from the oldest to the youngest. And so just wanted to extend our love, and we'll continue celebrating her. And I know, Patrick, you and your team of siblings have done a phenomenal job with pulling things together. And so, like her colleague from the Children's Law Center said, we're here for you in whichever way we can be. We always will be cool kids. So just want to say thank you and send our blessings.
I'll just say something real quick. So it's hard to follow when Latoya speaks, but we all had a very unique relationship. Andrea dubbed us the cool kids. There are 5 of us. First of all, it's okay when you have coworkers that you like, right? We are very unique in that we are 5 women. Okay, first of all, so that's hard. But coworkers that develop this incredibly unique friendship where we basically became sisters. You don't find that often, and just that ongoing support all the time. The self-care drawer. It was one of my favorite things because we all found other opportunities during the pandemic. And I remember Andrea was the first to leave. And like LaToya said, I was like, okay, cool, I can do this too. But I remember going back to clean out my office because when we shut down. And last time I went was to clean out my office, and having a little bag from Andrea of my leftover rum chata that was in the drawer, and then just some other things that were very Andrea like that we then carried with us into our next position, which was just really super special. I was very much into like self-care and creating boards and stuff, and I still remember one of the favorites was our fall board, because if you know, Andrea loves a good decorative gourd. And couldn't call them pumpkins. So I remember doing the board and making sure that there were lots of decorated gourds just for her. And like LaToya said, I feel like I know the whole family. Like every fundraiser happening, we were all in, and anything that we had for our own children or siblings, she was there supporting our kids and family members. And then we've now dubbed Scarlet Peaches because the most recent Peaches video, I think, will, yeah, we will carry that with us. So yeah,
She's like a little celebrity. We're like, there's Peaches. There's
yeah.
Peaches. Yeah.
So yeah, I know we will do our best to continue to carry her legacy forward. And like LaToya said, we're all here. Thank you. I'm gonna do my best to keep it together. I'm gonna warn you, I may not be able to. So I'm Lindsay Bartlett Mosvik. I was Lindsay Bartlett when we met. Andrea has been a part of my life since 2010, and every milestone in my life. I have 2 children. Andrea's godmother to my oldest son, Connor, and she loved him just as much, if not more, than she loved me. And I think what I will try to carry forward from Andrea is just that unconditional, unlimited source of love she was to everyone in her life. And those of us who were lucky to work with her, to become part of her orbit. She was my crafty friend. She was the one who pulled together everything for my wedding. I still have all the signs she created for me in 2014 hanging in my house. And she when I met her, told me about something she believed in at the time called the Lunchable theory. And you may or may not know this if you're a friend of hers, where she was like, use specific friends for specific reasons. You know, they're like Lunchables and you can't mix them. But when I was in DC with her, luckily we all got to mix. And so it's been really beautiful these last few weeks getting to hear from so many people who Andrea loved and who loved Andrea so much too. I'll echo what others have said. She loved her family more than anything in her life. I feel like I know all of her nieces and nephews, although some of them I'm still in awe of how old they are because I still think of them as small children, and now they're grown adults. So I just want to echo again how much I love Andrea and how grateful I am that I got to be a part of her life and a part of her orbit. And I know that I will do my best to carry forward her legacy and in both of my sons as well. Thank you to her family for being so welcoming and open to all of us who love Andrea too.
Just as we close, I just again want to express our love and gratitude to all of those who have been here, in person as well as in many other ways. The expressions of love, the condolences, the messages, everything has, we as a family truly are grateful for and are thankful for. And we know how much Andrea was loved. And again, know that she was an amazing human, an amazing person. And we are indeed grateful that we are sad, but also grateful to know that we can all continue on and support the things that she loved as well. At this time, we'll just kind of close. Just want to say thank you. We will head to the cemetery at this time. And so the interment will be at the Spanish Fork Cemetery, and there will be a dedicatory prayer there as well. So thank you.
Yeah, the congregation, please rise. Those who are acting as pallbearers, if you'll step in front of us. We can clean that up. Don't worry about it. Sure. I appreciate that. Sorry. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. We got it.